Hi everybody, this is Jan from Jan's Art. Today I'm going to show you sketching a face. I'm going to sketch a celebrity. I'm going to sketch Clint Eastwood. I'm using a digital drawing. I'm doing it on my iPad Pro, and I'm using Procreate to show you how I draw the face. So let's get a blank screen. So at the moment I've got a layer ready to do the drawing. I've got it in portrait mode, which is a good size to be. Right, the first thing I have to do before I do anything is I need to do some basic lines to help me draw the face that I want to draw. Okay, now to start off, I always draw a vertical line straight down. Let's get rid of that mark there. Okay, now then I'll draw a horizontal line. Okay, now it's not done with a ruler, I've just done it freehand. It doesn't really matter. You can, if you want to use a ruler, you can do this, what I'm doing, on paper with a pencil, but this is how I'm going to start my sketch. Now, the sketch I'm going to do is of Clint Eastwood. So, let's get that picture up. So let's go into my... There he is, Clint Eastwood in his prime. Big hairy beast. Okay, that's what I'm going to draw. So you can see I've got my cross, and I'm just going to line up the horizontal with his eyes. So you can see that that's too low, that's too high. So it just makes it easier when I come to sketch everything. Okay, right, now to sketch a face I use the 5 eyes technique. I don't know if you've heard of it, but practically everybody's face is 5 eyes across. Okay, so what you do is you say, right, that's going to be eye space number 1, dead center, and this is one eye space, and this is another eye space, so we've got 3 eye spaces there. Okay, and number 4 and number 5. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Okay, these are my 5 eyes. This is number 2 and number 4 are where the eyes are. Number 3 is the space between the eyes. Number 1 and number 5 are either side of the eyes. Now there's the keen-eyed among you will probably notice something. The photo reference I have of Clint Eastwood, he's looking not straight on, but at a slight angle. And as such, space number 1 is not an eye's width. If you look at it, it's about half the size of an eye width. And space number 5 is more than an eye's width. So, what you do in this situation is, let me just get rid of these numbers and these last 2 digits. Right, so there's my 3 eyes in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, right, the first eye space is half a space, so let's make that half a space, but the 5th eye space is a little bit longer, and it's about there. Okay, so I've still got 5 eyes across, but number 1 and number 5, whatever I reduce number 1 by, I add on to number 5, depending on the angle that they're looking at. Okay, if you're doing a face and they're looking straight on, then there shouldn't be a problem, but in this case I have to make the 5th eye longer, wider than the first eye. Okay, right, so I've got my 5 eyes. Right, so what I'm going to do in space number 2, I'm just going to draw a circle. And in space number 4, I'm drawing another circle. Okay, now these are just rough guidelines because I'll put another layer on top and then I can work on the drawing, but this is just how I start. Now if I look at the eye, his left eye, the eyelid covers the top of the eye. It's not on top like that, like you would if you were drawing an Egyptian eye in hieroglyphics in a pyramid or something. No, it's not like that. What I'm doing is I'm going to cut off some of the eye and come down. There we go. And I'm just scratching this in, see? And let's do the same for the other eye. I don't go beyond the eye's width. Okay, so I've got an angle eyelid there, and then it comes down to about there. So I just want to erase that little space there, and I'll also erase the tops of the eyes, see? So there I've got his eyes. Okay, also if I go back into the eye itself and just fill it in fact, I'll make the opacity a little bit more. Okay, let's go full whack with the opacity. There we go. And let's do this eye. Okay, so I've got his eyes there. Okay, now on this eye, on the left hand side, I'm going to start on his eyebrow. Now this is the side of his face, this is the side of the other side. Okay, so I need to get, I'm just going to erase this little bit of whatnot over here. That's better. Okay, I'm going to start with the eyebrow, so I'm just going to put in a rough outline where the eyebrow is on the face. Okay, that's it. Whoops, erasing it. Let's put that eyebrow in there. Opacity is 100%. Okay, let's just work on this eyebrow, and let's just get his famous eyebrow in. Okay, now I'll work on the other eyebrow, but just before I do, I notice that this part here, it has a couple of little wrinkles, and it's got one coming over the top there. So this will be the start of the other eyebrow. Okay, it's got a bit of an eyelid coming down there, so let's just add some of this eyebrow. I can see a little bit of the eyelid, not so much on this side, but I can see the eyelid, and it comes down and it joins his eye there. See? Got a couple little wrinkles there. Okay, so we've got his eyes. Right, now once I've got his eyes, I'm just going to erase bottom part. And just tidy up these shadows. That's it. And maybe get a couple of them wrinkles in there. So there's his eyes. So I'm quite happy. That's a good start to his eyes. So let's just put in a couple of wrinkles. Eyelashes and a little crease coming down there, joining there, and he's got a little bit of shadow under the eyelid, and he's got another one joining up there. This is the start of his famous wrinkles. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that little mark there. Right, okay, so I've started on the eyes. Now what I do, I'm going to use the side of the face just to start sculpting what I can see. Now it comes in and it fills out a little bit, so we can put in some hair there. Okay, he has a lovely little quiff going up here. And it joins there, and I'm just filling this in quickly. Oops. See what I did there? Right, I've just reduced it so I can see a little bit more, so I can see I need a lot more to this quiff. So let's make the brush a little bit bigger. That's better. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up where this brush is, up here, join the quiff, and it'll come around the top. Just fill it out. And just bring this down here. It's got a little bit of an ear there, so let's put that in. Let's just fill in this hair. Got loads of hair there. I could probably bring in this hair closer, and it shoots out here, and we're going in this direction. That's it. And we've got a bit of spikiness going on this side, so we might as well put that in. Okay, so I'm starting to get the mass of his hair. Okay, just go into that brush again. Make it maximum opacity. Done. That's better. Okay. And I'll just fill in this bit here. Get his ear in. Okay, and let's just work a little bit more on this side. I'm quickly blocking in everything I want. Let's just change the opacity take it off max. Put it about 83. Okay. Right. I've started with the eyes. So what I want to do now is I just want to work out the jawline. Okay. Now and the nose. So we'll start with the nose. Now he's got one of those little, I call three joint circles that form a nose, and they're just joined together. The middle one is just a little bit lower than the two nostrils. Okay, that's it. That's an easy little trick to remember when you're drawing noses, if all you can see is shadows. Then I'm going to come to where the mouth is, and we'll just put the mouth in, and it follows in line with his eye. So let's put that in there. This lip is a little bit wider. He's got a few teeth and whatnot just there. Okay. So there I've got his mouth. Okay. I have a little bit of beard, and we have, let's just scratch in, just change the maximum size. I can do it here as well. Right, this is making it just a little bit finer. That's it. And all I'm doing is I'm just scratching away and just cross-hatching. Let's just bring this down to this side. Let's just work on bringing up this beard to the mustache. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just doing some little zigzag lines, and I just want to just make it a little bit thicker. Bit thicker line there, and let's just shade in this beard. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just blocking in the darker bits that I can see. Okay, and it's got a bit of hair coming down here, a little bit of hair coming down there, then this is all filled in. Okay, let's just fill this in quickly. This is just where the beard is. I like to maximum size. I adjust it that way. Oh, that's better. So I can bring the opacity and the size down a little bit so I've got more control. That's better. So all I'm doing is, it's like using a felt pen. I'm just looking at my dark bits. Let's just reduce it a little bit more. Let's just get a few fine lines. I'm going really fine now, look. I'm just going to cross hatch onto the face. Right, what we'll do is fill the whole face with a few cross hatches. Just the chin part, just so I've got something to work with. Okay. Another thing I like to do, instead of making them look white, I go straight across with a few lines, and it just gives me a lovely tone just to work with, and then I can start to put in bits and pieces that I see. Okay, and let's just put a few little bit of hatchings here, because when you cross hatch one line over another, you get some lovely little shadings going on without the need to smudge. There we go. Let's just bring that ear tone in to the eye. Let's just add a little bit more thickness to this beard. Okay. And let's bring this part where the neck is. That's it. And let's just add. Now I could use an opacity brush, but when I was drawing, when I learned to draw, I learned to draw by hatching everything. And hatching everything, I think, gives you a little bit more control than smudging would. Let's just work on the nose. Now you see I've got this line going down the face, so let's get rid of that, because we don't need it anymore. I'm doing this all on one layer actually, which is quite good fun. And let's just put some shading around this part. Let's bring the size down. Let's work around the nose. Like I said, this is a very scratchy type of drawing, but the more you scratch away and cross hatch, the more you get texture coming on. Okay, and we've got a big bow tie there. Okay, and we've got another tie there. Let's just bring it up to there we go. Darken this in now, just a little bit more. That's it. So you can see that the technique that I'm using, that I started to do the drawing with, my 5 eyes technique, gives you a really good start. Let's just lighten up the forehead. Let's do a diagonal hatch just in this corner, see? And let's come round to where these wrinkles are, because they seem to sprite around the face. Let's go into a opacity. Let's make the properties. Let's make that's it. So when I use this eraser now, it won't erase everything, but it'll do it gradually. See? That's better. And I can just hatch into there. And a good way to use this eraser is where I've already been on the hair, you see? It'll give me all those. There we go. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Whoops, too thick. This is why I like digital. I've just found it a lot easier. There we go. Let's go back to the brush, tidy some of these lines up. Okay. Just get some darkness in there. Let's do a little bit more shading. And just bring that in onto the face. Now let's join up the beard, because it's a little bit bare at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just joining the beard. All I'm doing is I'm looking at my spaces that I can see, the dark bits, the solid places, and where I can see. See, with this scratching way of drawing, you quickly can see where it needs that's it. Let's just make that a little bit longer. Let's just put a little bit more shading here. That's it. Let's make it a little bit thicker for underneath the nose. Going in the direction of the hairs. It's got a little bit of a crease going on there. It's got a bit of a crease going on here. And there we go. The thing is, it's not photorealistic, but it's a fairly good likeness, and I think you'd agree, you'd know who it was just by. There we go. Tidying up. But starting off from a little vertical axis across, you can quickly build up the likeness you want. I'm going to go into the razor because I can see this some light areas that I want to put back over my hatching. Okay, let's go back to let's add some on his forehead, some lines that I can see. Now there's lots of little brushes I could have used, more paint brushes, more opacity, but I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, like if it was just being done with a pencil and just cross-hatching it. Okay, I've got a smudge brush here. Now it's very strong, so I'm going to have to go back and try and not make it so strong. So let's change the opacity and the brush size. That's better. Okay, let's just put in some roughness. There we go. I'm starting to get a bit better. Right, now let's go back into this eyebrow, and I just want to make it a little bit more substantial, because it really is. I think I had them probably a little bit too thin. There we go. Just working on that eye, just getting the angle right. A lot of this is just looking at it, observing what you're doing, and see where it's not right and trying to correct it. There we go. And the more you work on it, this is my first drawing that I've done on an iPad. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I must admit I'm a little bit impressed with this. It's just like drawing with pencil. So much cleaner, and it's so easier to correct. Let me see, when I look at that eye there, I think I made these eyebrows a bit thinner than what they should be. I'm just working around the eye, the left eye, and all I want to do is just bring this shading in, and then with the eraser just give me some light back. There we go. Don't like this smudging much, must admit. That's it. I prefer all my lines to be cross-hatched. This eyebrow needs to be a bit thicker. This side, see? And let's get an eraser and maybe put a little couple of that's it. Just working on the hair. So you can see pretty soon you get what you put into it, I think, with a drawing. The more you draw and sketch, the more the likeness you're going to get. There we go. I'm just putting some lights in. Just reduce the thickness of my eraser, and I can cut in really fine with my blending, see, because it's such a fine line. The thing I like about this way of drawing is, especially for this guy, I'm getting a lovely rugged effect. Let's just build this up a little bit. That's it. Let's bring a couple of hairs. There we go. This eye here, I'm seeing too much light, so I need to push that in a bit. That's better. Maybe get a little bit of light underneath. Just work on these wrinkles that I can see. That's better. Also, I've noticed I need to come in to his forehead just a bit there, see? Let's just bring that up there. And just rough up this beard. It's too neat and tidy. Let's give him some tone underneath. That's it. Go to the eraser, make the brush size a bit thicker. There we go. Just tidy up that little bit there that I can see. Just work on my darks on top of the collar. Okay, and a little bit more on top. And just a little bit more. There we go. Just a few wild Eastwood hairs going here and there. Maybe give them a little bit of, that's it. Excellent, that's what I wanted. Maybe a few little bit more thickness here here. I started too low. So let's go to my brush. Just erase that. There we go. That's better. And let's have a few. I just want to give more hair because he's got such a magnificent mane of hair on the top of his head. He did like thick hair on top. Let's just come into this. That's it. Just taper some lines into there. Let's just bring my line levels down and let's just work on a few little cross hatches on his cheek, coming around. That's it. Now this eyebrow, I've got to work on this eyebrow because I keep looking at it and thinking there's something not right. So let's work on the thickness. That's better. You know, when you see something and it's bugging you, try and correct it when you first see it. There we go. You can see the lines that I'm putting in on the corner. And let's just work on this planes of the nose. And just underneath the tip of the nose, let's just put a little bit of cross hatching there. And underneath, just bring it all together. That's it. Now I'm starting to see what I can improve on. Just by bringing it up a little bit closer, let's just work on one of these teeth. Not too many. That's too many. Starts to look a little bit goofy. That's his mouth. That's it. And just bring it. There we go. Now I'm starting to get the eyebrow that I wanted. Okay, I could probably just come in a little bit. It's a bit better. And just using the eraser and the brush at different settings, you can see, there you go, how much fun you can have. Let's bring that down. Just shade this in. There we go. And it just, another hatch just seems to blend it in. A few little lines here. Let's just build it up. Let's go to my razor, bring it down a little bit. See, what you put in with hatching with an eraser, you can take it out and whittle it down. So there's me filling in that side. Let's just go to this side. Yes, Yes, I like it better with hatching than with a smudge brush. I just think it gives you so much texture and depth to your drawing. I just want to get that crease going around there. That's it. We've got this shading going on here in between the lines. Okay, now let's use my eraser. There we go. And let's just put in these highlights where I can see them. Definitely just about there. Let's put something in around the eye, just there. And let's just tidy up. That's it. Get that in there. Get some of these wrinkles in. Maybe he's got underneath the eye, just, that's it, just enough. Just with a few lines, you can cross hatch in one of my art workshops. We did a Clint Eastwood portrait of what he looks like now, but with a biro, and it was really good fun because you could just draw just with emotion, and you couldn't rub it out. You didn't have an erase like you do with the digital, which is one hell of an advantage. Go. Just putting that in. Get rid of these teeth here. Too many teeth. That's it. Let's just bring that down a little bit. And just work on the shape of the mouth. Maybe too much light at the ends of his mustache. A little bit thicker. Now the technique I'm really using is just cross-hatching and drawing instead of using all the myriad of brushes that are available. When you can see this close and you can see what I'm doing, clear up that little mark there. Okay, that's it. Let's add a little bit of opacity here. Where that came from. Let's go back. Go forward. Oh, there it is. Right. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of shading underneath the eyes. this eye in particular. There we go. And let's just go in with an eraser. Just on the top, and maybe just there. Okay, not a bad start. Just adding some lights. That's it. Let's just bring in this mustache a little bit better. That's it. Let's just go very thin eraser, and let's just work on the nostril. Okay, brilliant. And let's just do a few hatches on the shadow side of the nose, the right hand side. Let's just bring a few. Oh, I've noticed something. No, there's a little bit of light there. A little bit of light down there, see? The thing is, when you're drawing, you always see bits you can improve on. That's it. Now I'm just doing this bit of shading along the top. Let's get rid of this underneath the mouth, these pointy bits of beard. Let's just work on the bottom lip, because I haven't really done anything on the bottom lip. That's it. Just erase that in the corner, just get the shape going. That's it. Now, where the mustache meets the mouth, it's a little bit darker, a bit thicker, a bit bulbous. So let's just work that with a little bit of shading. Okay. There we go. This lip is too fat, I've just realised. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and maybe work on the centre part of it. That's it. So it's not. There we go. That's better. Now this eye here, there's too much light on the right side. There's too much light going in. So I've got to there we go. It's a little bit better. Let's just work on this eyebrow. Always keep coming back to the eyebrows. That's it. That's better. This one can be a little bit higher on the left hand side, see? There we go. There we go. Right, one last thing. There you go, Clint Eastwood on a digital iPad Pro in one colour with an eraser. I hope that's been of some help and you've learned something. I've learned something. I definitely have. I'll probably do a lot more of these because they are good fun. There's Clint Eastwood and there's my reference, and well, happy painting everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.